Hey yo, Z King Fight News. So Deontay Wilder calls Dazn slithering snakes. They tried to, rip him off in that negotiating meeting where they tried to sign him for $120 million. Well, it's Z King Fight News, man. We got more on this. All right, y'all see it. Shout out to Greg Leone of Boxing Talk. He did the interview with Deontay Wilder. Wilder sounds off, explains why he chose to quote-unquote bet on himself, calls Dazn slithering snakes. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. So in this interview, I'll give you the brief, cliff notes. He says Dominic Breazeale does not deserve to be in the ring with him. That's a mismatch. He's gonna ice Breazeale in 3 or 4 rounds. What was the primary choice or reason for you to stay with PBC Showtime instead of signing with Dazn or ESPN? This is what Wilder had to say. ESPN and Dazn, they wanted a long term on me. I like to dictate my own career. He said that several times. And I like to see where it's going for myself. When you're given so many years, you're giving them too much control. I don't like people to have too much control over me in my career, because I know what it is and I know where it's going. Dazn just left out information from us. They tried to hide certain information from us, and from that point, you can't go further. I'm not going to get into what it was, but we all know boxing is a snake in the grass business, right? That's what he said. It's a snake in the grass business, and you got to keep the grass cut because they're always slithering around. Dazn was one of those snakes slithering around. And you automatically think, you see that big number, you think, oh my God. But you need to know what's going on behind the details of that number. I'm not no fool. And my mother didn't raise no fool. Alright, that's what he had to say. I mean, respect to Deontay Wilder. He finally came out and gave some legit reasons on why he turned it down. I mean, but he pretty much had that same sort of dialogue where he explained he didn't get the other side of the coin when it came to the Joshua fight. He knows what he's getting paid, but he specifically wanted to know if Joshua was in that same ballpark, and they would not reveal that. It is what it is. I mean, if you ask me, if Wilder felt like, he was getting what he was worth, then I think he would have taken the fight. Maybe he's asking for too much. I don't know. If you're talking about $120 million and potential that being a cap on 4 fights, and 2 of those fights is the AJ deal, I mean, I think you already got $120 million off them 2 AJ fights, right? That can easily be a situation, especially if you were to split. You say that goes 1 win apiece. If he wins the first one, Deontay Wilder is going to be in for some stupid money in a rematch. But if he loses the first one, then maybe he's got to take a pay cut in a rematch, And those kind of things, I guess they didn't get that far. But you know what's funny? I don't exactly want to sit here and And I don't exactly agree with Wilder calling them snakes in the grass. I mean, honestly, looking at how Dazn is treating their fighters, I haven't seen anybody complain. Right? Haven't heard anybody complain about how they're getting paid. I mean, Dazn seems to be handsomely paying these guys and overpaying these guys. Look at what they just did with Triple G. Paying him unbelievable amounts of money for nothing. For a guy that's at the end of his career. For a guy that maybe has 2 or 3 fights left. Not only that, look at the situation with Jarrell Big Baby Miller. They were going to pay him $7 million. Right? $7 million for Jarrell, who has done nothing to earn a title shot. But they're just shelling out bread, man. That's why, like, if you look at the Ortiz situation, I don't doubt that $5 million, that's not out of Eddie Hearn's pocket. That's coming from Dazn, guys. That's coming from Dazn. Maybe a fraction of it's out of Eddie Hearn's pocket. Maybe the site fee is out of Eddie Hearn's pocket. I don't know, man. But I think a lot of that money that Jarrell Miller was getting is from Dazn. So it is what it is. So anyways, if you haven't already, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We got more on this. And I mean, if you really look at it, Deontay Wilder he's actually doing exactly what AJ is doing. Like, AJ's not signed to Dazn. He happens to be fighting on Dazn. But there's no long-term deal. So it's funny. This one part is funny. It's funny how people can criticize Deontay Wilder. They can say, oh, he doesn't have a deal. Meanwhile, AJ isn't tied to a network either. These guys are really doing the same thing, just in different ways. The only difference between AJ and Deontay Wilder is AJ is tied to Eddie Hearn Matchroom Promotions. Deontay Wilder is tied to wherever Al Heyman wants him to be. Let's keep it real. Deontay Wilder's tied to PBC, Showtime, or Fox. Or CBS. Right? He happens to be all over those platforms. He just pops up. You never know when he's going to show up, right? He'll show up at a Final Four game. He might show up at a fucking, hockey playoff. Who knows? Maybe he'll show up at a playoff basketball game like Anthony Joshua did. We really don't know. What we do know is Wilder does have some money behind him. And the other thing we do know is if it were up to Wilder, he would have fought Anthony Joshua last year. Right? In that situation, AJ doubled back off of his word. He reneged on a $50 million that he asked for. He asked for that bread. He got it. All of a sudden, he had a change of heart. Deontay Wilder, now in a situation where he's trying to build up his stock, and AJ's looking for the fight. Eddie Hearn's looking for the fight. Deontay Wilder called them desperate. But don't underestimate the fact that now that they want the fight, your stock has gone up. So, I mean, the whole situation is boxing politics at its finest. That's really what it is. So we'll see how it all plays out, though. Wilder will likely fight Kawanaki or Luis Ortiz next. And this is assuming Luis Ortiz doesn't jump on the AJ fight, I think he should have done that. Because that fight is a fresh fight. It's a good look for AJ and Luis King Kong Ortiz. It shows you can absolutely make a fight between another Al Haymon fighter and Anthony Joshua. Right? It sort of breaks some barriers there that haven't been broken in recent memory. So I would absolutely want to see Luis Ortiz step up. By the way, if we're up to me, Luis Ortiz, man, fire your whole goddamn team, man. They ain't fucking with you like that. How the fuck do you get offered $5 million and you don't know about it until it's way too late? How is that even a thing? How do you even accept that from your own team? Unbelievable. So, I mean, Luis Ortiz needs to reflect on the guys around him, you know, because leeches will find a way to sneak in, you know? And that just is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, smash the like button. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. Shout out to my brother World Breaker for the background music by Other Words. And, hey, if you want to support the channel, I'm going to leave that PayPal link in the description, man. This channel has been demonetized. I think I was one of the first ones. It was me. Then it was Blood Boxing. I heard Smoke City got the same treatment, man. There's some crazy shit going on. But it is what it is. E-King Fight News. We still out here. Y'all know what it is, man. And we're out. Peace.